What is happening, people? It is Brian, Alsruhe, NEVERsate.com, and today I am joined by one of my favorite people in the entire world. This is Xabi Osa.
Hey guys.
So Xabi has been part of our gym for, I guess, 2 years now?
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. However, Xabi lives in Spain.
Yeah.
So that makes it harder. So Xabi, why don't you explain a little bit? Obviously, if you guys are looking at Xabi, explain what you're a little different about.
So I don't have an arm. I have an arm on my left side. I was born this way, and well, I have to. I don't know. I know better, so like I had to adapt since I was a kid, and that looked different, different points of my life. But you know, you can't. My life is about adapting, and I love it. So
let me stop right. Okay, guys, before you go anywhere, stop. Go to the description section and click on Xabi's channel. You have a YouTube channel, you have an Instagram page. Guys, the stuff that Xabi does, Xabi was part of our gym for a while. It was probably like 6 months to a year, where you were coming every single weekend. He was coming training, learning Strongman, did a Strongman competition in the open class, didn't decide to go adaptive or anything. He jumped in and did it. If he has one thing, it's courage, that's for darn sure. But you hung out with us for a while, and then you had to go back to Spain because your family owns a business and you were going back to help them out with that for a little bit. However, back there you continued your training. What were you doing back in Spain?
So when I went back to Spain, I was like, because I really got into Strongman and I really loved the environment, you guys, and I wanted to keep training, but I didn't just want to go to a commercial gym. I still wanted to keep getting stronger. So I remember we started a program with you. And I found this CrossFit gym who had bars and let me train there. So I got into CrossFit. And about like 6 months ago, I find out about like adaptive CrossFit competitions. And I signed up. I started training CrossFit. Didn't know what a chest to bar and like those butterflies and like all those. All those things were, and I wanna be competing with these guys. So in January I started preparing for the Open, which they run the same as the CrossFit Games Open. But there's this organization who adapt every single Open workout. So made it through the Open was tough.
Which is massively impressive. Like already impressive.
It was a challenge. I never sacrificed so much in my life. Like like food, like nutrition-wise, workout-wise. I always worked out, but like
you've always been very serious about working out and your nutrition and everything.
Yeah, but like this time I was like, I gotta go a step farther and made it through the Open, barely. Then I went to regionals, and that was tough because like in the Open, like every week you set like a score. You set a video.
Absolutely.
So you kind of know where you are on the like leaderboard. For regionals, they sent us 5 workouts to do in a week. No one posts anything until Friday, so you don't know like how am I doing. So post all my videos, and I'm like Friday night. I remember I was like, all right, I'm gonna make this. These guys are way too strong, way too impressive. Next year, I was already in my mind like, okay, I'm gonna keep working technique. Saturday morning, I wake up to a message from another adaptive athlete, and she was like, congratulations, you made it. I'm like, whoa, what? And opened the leaderboard, and there I was, like tied with the 5th. So
really,
I'm like, okay, maybe like they, like I'm on the other side of the line, like so
your brain's going nuts trying to figure it out.
And then they sent me the invitation, and like, so I guess I'm going to Canada. Like you're always like, oh, it'll get easier down the road. It's like it never gets easier. Like you pass the Open, you gotta get ready for regionals, which is gonna be tougher. You pass regionals, you gotta be ready for the games, which is like absolute like craziness. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey. Knowing myself as an individual, as an athlete, seeing how far I'll go to get to my goals. And I'm definitely never satisfied. And that's something I learned from you guys. I was telling Elaine and Nikolai, it's like, you guys shaped the athlete that I am, the person that I am. So taking that to the other side of the Atlantic and show, like, when people see me, if they see something special, is because I brought what you guys have in here. That's what I love it, that you said that I've been part of the gym, because even if you're not physically here, you can still be part of this amazing family that you guys have.
You're 100% part of the gym. Like, you are a heart and soul member of the gym. When he says adaptive CrossFit guys or adaptive athlete, adaptive is the term that they put towards guys who have to do something a little bit different, right? So he can't just pick up a bar because he only has one hand, right? So he's got to tie himself to the bar for like a deadlift or something like that. That's what they mean by adaptive. Now, that kind of changes from individual to individual depending on how they need to adapt things. However, I don't want you guys to think adaptive means less capable whatsoever. So the very first time that I ever met Xabi, I got an email from a dude named Brian who was like, hey man, my friend and I want to come down and visit the gym. Is that cool? And I'm like, yeah man, no problem. So they come down. When they walk through the door, I shake Ryan's hand, and then Xabi walks through the door and I shake Xabi's hand, and I'm like, there's something missing here, right? So basically, I shake Xabi's hand. Xabi has only part of his hand, and then he has part of an arm, and I'm like, how am I going to be able to work this, right? So I always try to play things off like I know what I'm talking about. So I turn around, I'm like, guys, go get warmed up. I have some paperwork to take care of. I'll be right with you. So I turn around and I start working on paperwork. I'm not actually doing paperwork. What I'm doing is frantically trying to think of how I'm gonna be able to help Xabi out. At which time, I forget who it was, Xabi or Elena, or Nikolai or Elena, turns to me and go, hey. I turn around and Xabi is doing pull-ups with his one arm, getting it done, just getting warmed up like anybody else, walks over to a barbell and is literally doing overhead presses with his one hand and basically balancing the bar on his elbow. So that was my introduction to adaptive strongman, and what I thought was possible and was not possible was so skewed it wasn't even funny. And you opened the door for a ton of adaptive athletes who've come here. Now we have the national champion adaptive athlete here. Like, there's so many people who've come through the door, and it all started with you because you were like, I'll try. Yeah. So many people are afraid, like we were talking before we started recording this, like people are afraid to try snaps because they're like, I might get hurt, or I might do this, or I might do that. You walked into CrossFit, had no idea what half the exercises were, much less a snatch, a clean, and you had to learn how to do it with one hand. So when he does a snatch or a clean and press, he's literally balancing the bar. He's not tying himself to the bar, he's balancing the bar. That is so beyond the realm of anything that I would have given up and said, man, there's absolutely no way, I can't do that. No, but now you, man.
Yeah, it's funny, like, I love the story because, like, in my head, I'm also thinking, like, Ryan is like, you want to go to the gym in Westminster? I was like, yeah, sure, like, and I had no idea what I was gonna get myself into, so I walk into, like, through those doors, and I look around, and I'm like, there's so many things in here that I don't know if I'll be able to do.
Yeah.
So those thoughts are all, like, also in my head, but like, it's that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but I'm gonna try. And you know, the work now, but like, you have to adapt, you know. And with CrossFit, since I have to do like everything, like all the lifts, like
and be prepared for anything.
Be prepared for anything. You know, it's been, you know, Olympic lifting, and I had no idea how to, like, you know, because like back home, like there are also just like this guy with one arm walks into the doors, and like, how are we going to figure out things? But like, you know, like that's what I love about the community, the togetherness. It's like, it's not just me, like you, Ryan, and Hel and Nikolai. Like the deadlift, the chain was like was his idea, and so it's figuring out, like, and it's always like a learning experience for me.
Always.
And you know, it's, people ask me, so isn't that way dangerous? Like, to me, I like, my first thought when I do a lift is being balanced. To me, it's all about like balancing what's missing from my right side on the left side. So it's not perfect, but I make sure that I do everything I can to be to not hurt myself, and to take, like, be efficient and be careful, because you don't wanna. Again, it's never perfect, but I want to be doing this for a long time. So if I injure myself, so
don't break your toys.
So yeah,
But the bottom line is a lot of people, like you were born like this, right? But we work with a lot of veterans who have lost body parts and stuff. And the difference between your guys' mindset and the mindset of an average person, dare I say, an average person, a lot of times, things are a little too easy. You know what I mean? So when something comes up in their life, a lot of times people say, well, that's over for me. There's no way that I'm going to be able to continue to grab a barbell if I don't have an arm anymore. Or whatever the case may be, fill in the blank. I find myself very much like that. Like, oh, that part of my life's over, right? Whatever the case may be. But you look at yourself and you don't say, it's not for me. You say, why can't it be me? How can I adjust this to it be me? And that, learning how to do these things in the gym, is that applied to other areas of your life? Like, do you just, or was it other areas of your life where you had to learn to adapt that has helped with the lifting? Like,
totally. Like, I think it's not, like, what I admire of like from athletes like you, or like you see Matt Fraser, like you guys are super strong and like such amazing athletes, but it's not the strength that I admire, but the mentality.
Yeah.
Because what you guys carry here goes beyond lifting bars and lifting rocks and lifting stones. So to me, it's like I have to adapt, you know, like in life. If something doesn't work, doesn't mean that it's the only way. Like I can still get to where I want to go. I might just take a different route. So road.
That's a big life lesson.
And you know, like people get too discouraged by a closed door. Like someone shuts a door in their faces once, it's like, all right, that's over. And I think in life, like you see so many athletes that things come easy to them. And they don't have to work as hard, and they're like, then they get off track. But like for someone who has to constantly fight to be the fastest, to be the strongest, then you value your victories more. And
absolutely.
And yeah, so that way it's like, okay, I failed this time. I gotta get up because I want to get to where I want to get. So like, it's constantly getting up, finding different ways to get to where you want to get. And like to me, like I was terrible at sports, and for me to like dedicate myself so much to something that I was not good at, it's definitely a bunch of like closed doors that I had to like, but you have to fight through. And
I mean, the first time I ever saw you do a circus dumbbell, you started out with like a regular dumbbell, then you moved up to the small circus dumbbell and a bigger. And when I started watching you do a circus dumbbell, you literally had to strap yourself to the circus dumbbell because you're going to grab a hold of it, and you don't have your other hand to assist. So you have to strap yourself to it, figure out a one-arm clean of a circus dumbbell, rack position, press without having the counterbalance. And when you started doing circus dumbbell, I was doubtful, right? I was looking at it going, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to work until you got circus dumbbell.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened with the log. And I was like, okay, you got circus dumbbell, but there's absolutely no way this dude without an arm is going to be able to roll the log up his body and press up his head. And then you did the log.
Yeah.
So really, there's absolutely nothing. I did the same thing with stones. There's so many things where I counted you out, and I was like, I don't know, I think this one's going to be tough for him. And it always started tough for you, but everything is hard at first. And then 3 hours later, or 3 weeks later, or 3 months later, I'm looking at you literally compete in that thing that I didn't think you'd be able to do.
Yeah.
So you have changed my impossible so many times. The way that you've changed my life, just in that aspect alone, not counting your friendship, not counting who you are to everyone else in the gym, who you are in the world, just the sheer fact that you go up to something, and when I fail something, I immediately start thinking, there's absolutely no way, because things tend to come easier for me than harder for me, you know what I mean? At least physical things.
Yeah.
But for you, the physical thing has always been the challenge, and seeing you overcome those things really changed my perspective on just the way that I need to look at my own life and my own mindset as well. Like, you've done a lot. And I remember when we did another interview a long time back before you left for Spain. And we were talking about that kind of thing, like what advice you would give people. So has that changed at all? Like, what advice would you give to your old self, or what advice would you give to people who are waking up today not feeling like they have it, not feeling like they're good enough, or whatever the case may be? Like, what do you tell people?
Well, first of all, like I want to say how much it means to me that someone that inspired me so much, I can give back to that person too. So thanks for that.
Dude.
And we like these advice things, they sound such cliches, but like they're so true. Like for me, it's like never giving up.
Yeah. And that's not a cliche.
It's like
that might be a cliche coming from me, but that's not a cliche coming from someone who can log press with one arm.
No, like people like say never give up. So like yes, but I know what I'm saying when I'm telling you when I say never give up. In life, things don't come easy, and when you face the reality, like to me, when I went to compete with all these like amazing athletes, like adaptive athletes, like on the standing upper division, which was arm, and I'm like, I didn't do as great as I wanted, but okay, whatever you're going to do with that now. What you didn't place great, are you gonna give up, or are you gonna go get back up and train again and train harder and train smarter? So when I get back tomorrow, tonight, next week, I'm already starting like to work towards the next competition and not letting challenges because you're afraid. Fear. I have fear of like failing,
Of course.
And I'm super tough with myself, and that's what helps me get places.
Yep.
So yeah, never giving up, and just because you haven't been successful once, you can't. I'd rather be prepared for failure than for success, because if you're ready for failure, you face failure in a different way. So stand back up, keep going, keep trying. If it's in lifting or in life or at work or in school, in relationships, never give up. Never give up on that one person or on that one lift or on that one job. Just keep trying, because nothing that's worth comes easy, and you'll definitely see the fruits of your hard work. May not be tomorrow or in a week or in 10 years, but when that person comes back to you and you're like, I saw you do this and it changed my life. Then it's really gonna be like, it was all worth it, all the effort.
Guys, he's got the Suffer Beautifully shirt on. He was one of the people that I definitely had in mind when I came up with the whole Suffer Beautifully thing, because like I've said many, many times, in this gym, no one is treated special. When Xabi comes in, he's not treated special. We're not like, oh, you have one arm, we need to treat you special. He's treated exactly like everyone else. Same stuff's expected of him. He's not getting kid gloves, nothing has changed, right? We expect the same exact things out of you. No one is special, everyone's suffering some way. You just do it beautifully, my friend. So, guys, this guy, he's getting ready to jump on a plane and head back to Spain. I'm so thankful I got to catch up with you, but a lot of other stuff's gonna be coming up on Nikolai's channel from you. I was not here Wednesday, I was still sick. So all of that stuff from Wednesday where he's here training and stuff will be over on Nick's channel. I'll leave a link to that. But guys, go down the description, subscribe to this guy, check him out on Instagram. The stuff that he puts up regularly blows my mind. You surf, you snowboard, you do it all, you live an amazing life. Adaptive means absolutely nothing to you, man. You inspire me. I thank you so much. I love you, brother. I'm so sorry to see you go, but dude, yeah, man. Yes, sir. Thank you. Sabi, what's wrong with your arm?
I just climbed a rope 9 times.
That's some rope climbs.
Yeah.